And welcome back to Barron Stadium in Rome, Georgia. Time now for the Senior All-Star Games here in the 2023 Georgia Elite Classic. Matt Stewart joined by On3.com Rusty Mansell. No opt-outs in this game. These are a bunch of seniors eager to play one more game, get one more highlight reel out there, hoping to land a college football offer or a better college football offer.
You couldn't sum that up any better, man. I spent a lot of time with these guys yesterday. And listen, I talked to one of them. I said, look, man, you realize this could be the last time you ever put them on. You know what I mean? I know you're here. Every one of these kids that are here, Matt, have that goal of, hey, man, I want to go to the next level. And just really a special group, man. I just really spend a lot of time with those guys and enjoy them being here.
How big is this in that regard? We have one more National Signing Day coming up. There's still a lot of stuff that has to be fleshed out in college football with the transfer portal and opportunities that may open up that aren't even open right now.
No group in America has felt the effects of the portal more than the class of 2024. If you're not a Power 5 player, you have felt the impact of that. And these young men, I talked to a couple of them yesterday, and I said, hey, are you hearing anybody? And said, well, like last night, somebody hit me up for the first time. So it's going to pick up for these kids. But this is a great opportunity for these young guys to put something on tape and have this game broadcast and streamed nationwide.
Well, you certainly have some interesting prospects. First and foremost, in my mind, is the blue team quarterback, Raj Waldrop, out of the Brookwood School in Thomasville. He passed for close to 10,000 yards in his career.
He's been kind of the buzz of the practices the last 2 days, and I think people have been confused. I've heard people in the fields, and I had to correct a lot of people. He's from Brookwood. But it's not Philip Jones Brookwood. It's not Brookwood Broncos. It's Brookwood. It's high school and private school down in Thomasville. And I don't think a lot of people kind of know who he is. But after today, a lot of people are probably going to.
Well, get this. He threw for 698 yards in a single game earlier this season. 9 touchdown passes in Brookwood's 59-56 victory over Deerfield-Windsor. So the kid has the capabilities. Will he put on that kind of show today? We'll wait and see.
He throws for 698 in this weather today, and he'll need to talk to Jimmy Sexton because the weather and the wind. But certainly he's been very, very impressive. And Javarius George, a young man that you've covered a long time. He looked at me yesterday, the wide receiver at North Paul, and he said, hey, that kid right there, he's a dog. And in their terms, that's a really good definition of a player.
Well, he certainly does have some weapons. Javarius George from North Paulding is a guy that certainly he'll be throwing the ball to a lot. Also, Ryder Stewart, a young man who played for 40 years at West Forsyth, playing the wide receiver position, was a running back primarily, and defensive back with the Wolverines playing the wide receiver position today.
Saw him as a freshman, got thrown into 7A football because of an injury, and next thing you know, he's playing over there at West Forsyth. So excited to see him in his high school career over here today.
Flip side of that, on the gold team, KJ Smith, the 2-year starter for the Roswell Hornets, led them to consecutive region titles, threw for a program record 72 passing touchdowns and over 5,500 yards. KJ will suit up for the gold team today. He's committed to Nebraska Kearney.
Yeah, feels like he's played for 12 years. You say he's a 2-year starter, but he had so many opportunities, did such a good job. And I asked him, I said, did you sign? He said, no, I'm verbally committed. So that means a lot, but it doesn't mean it's over with quite yet for him. I wouldn't be surprised when those schools will start calling.
And we got a trio from the Coffee Trojans who won their first state championship in 69 years of football when they beat Creekside in the 5A final. You got Fred Brown, 2,000-yard rusher. He's going to be fun to watch. Pat McCall at the wide receiver position. He had a couple of big catches in that victory against the Seminoles a couple of weeks ago. And Jerzavion Grant, their big 300-pound offensive tackle, been offered by SEMO. That's 3 Coffee Trojans on the offensive side of the ball lining up for the gold team today.
And that kind of tells you where we are in this recruiting world. Those young men just completed a 15-0 season, won a state championship, and they're still looking for offers. And I'll tell you this, Coach Co is still winning because yesterday I pulled Pat McCall and I pulled Fred aside. I said, look, if you had to go on the town tonight and you needed a wingman, who would be the one coach on your team you would take with and say, hey, man, Coach Coe's got some swag. So, he's still winning. His kids chose him to go out on the town with him and also brought the first ever state championship to Coffee.
Well, we're going to step aside and come back and get this thing started as the seniors take center stage here in Rome.
We celebrate the athletes, the buzzer beaters, the record breakers, the wins. Now, it's time to celebrate the people behind it all. The advice givers, the community shapers, the game changers, the life changers. It's time to celebrate our coaches. Join all of us at BSN Sports and show your coach some love by sharing their story with #ThankYouCoach.
Hey, is the power off on this?
I don't know. Just take it off.
Safety violation, unsafe work conditions.
In the construction trades unions, safety is our highest priority, and we train you to recognize and speak out on unsafe working conditions so that everyone arrives and goes home safely. Learn about careers in construction at GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com.
The Forum River Center in Rome, Georgia is now open and available for meetings and receptions. We're fully equipped for large conventions, sporting events, weddings, and much more. The Forum is located downtown within walking distance of local restaurants, hotels, and boutique shopping. We offer a variety of meeting spaces, many with beautiful river views. Outdoor venues are available for that special touch with our adjacent parking deck and a personal concierge on site. Your event is sure to be a hit. Find out more at forumrivercenter.com.
The BSN Sports Georgia Elite Classic is sponsored by GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com. Transform your future today. Score Atlanta, your source for Georgia high school sports. HendrickCars.com. Get no payments for 90 days at HendrickCars.com. Experience the Hendrick difference. The U.S. Army. Be all you can be. And by Georgia's Rome, where the rivers meet and the mountains begin.
And welcome back to Barron Stadium. We're getting set for the Senior All-Star Game here in the 2023 Georgia Elite Classic. Couple of highly regarded assistant coaches, coordinators getting a chance to be the head coaches here today for the Blue. Chad Nybert, the defensive coordinator for Phillip Jones at Brookwood High School, the one that's in Gwinnett County. That Brookwood, the one that many people are most familiar with. And then Dan Mullins from Alatoona is going to be the head coach for the Gold team today.
And that's kind of the theory, Matt, behind this. We want to give those guys an opportunity to be a head coach, to try to run a couple practices, to let those guys understand what you're doing as far as, running a program and setting practices, those type of things.
What's also going to be interesting is the use of the replay flag, the challenge flag that you have here, and the timeouts. The timing rules are also a little bit different from high school football. Yeah, we used that in the first part of it, but it'll be NFL rules, so the clock will run as soon as as they go out of bounds. You'll see some of that, but we added additional time per quarters. How about the weather? It's brought to you by Georgia's Rome. Currently 43 degrees with the wind blowing at 13 miles per hour out of the west, and it is overcast, has been most of the day, and that 13-mile-per-hour breeze is more like a pretty stiff wind right now. Hey, it was crisp this morning for those seventh graders. Good thing there was young kids and had a little blood flowing because it was crisp and cool there. So how does that impact the offenses, especially since we've all gotten really soft and just had 8 games in Mercedes-Benz Stadium for the state championships? Well, you can look at that flag and notice that whoever has the ball in the first and third quarter is going against this thing if they don't pick it right. You know what I mean? So in the seventh grade game, they understood they kind of won the coin toss and they picked the wrong direction. So in the fourth quarter, they're going into the wind, which is toward the river here in downtown Rome, and that's where you do not want to be with the game on the line going into that wind. And you've been out here at the practices all week long. How much of the layoff has impacted some of the guys? Now, the coffee guys we talked about, they've only had about a week off, but some of these guys have not played since the 1st of November. I've been very surprised how efficient and how much they've been able to put in, how good these guys have handled this. So you look at this senior team and what they put in. The good thing about the senior team, they have been out at Berry College, and they've been in a hotel out there, and they have been practicing out there the entire time, so kind of been on their own and handling their business. We had to talk with those guys and said, look, this is not a vacation. This is a business trip for you guys, and they've been very focused on everything I've heard. So in case you were wondering, that was the opening kickoff. Kickoffs are not live, and that was Jarrett Wilson, the senior from Kell, with the opening kickoff. So we're going to see the blue team on offense to begin with here, and we'll see who gets the call at quarterback to begin this game. I'm guessing Raj Waldrop, but it could be Jake Holmes, the big physical athletic quarterback out of Ola. Yeah, and these guys are going to rotate everybody all
all game. But you're going to see Waldrop with a wind behind him right now. And he's a lefty, and the ball jumps out of his hand. He is legit 6'3", 6'4". Interesting. Georgia was in talks with him at one time with that preferred walk-on. And,
we saw Coulter Ginn out of Peach County
got the preferred walk-on. But this young man, he easily could have ended up at the University of Georgia. Mike Bobo recruited him pretty hard.
Waldrop going to run it on the first play, and he's going to be tackled at the 27-yard line. Loss on the play. That was Amir Hopper, the senior defensive tackle from Northgate, getting in on that tackle.
I tell you what, nobody wanted to play in this game worse than him. He tagged me every single day in every single highlight. I said, you know what, young man, you want to play that bad, you've earned it. And he shows his passion right there on the first play.
So a loss of 3 on the opening play. The kickoffs are spotted at the 30 since they're not live. So it's going to be 2nd down and 13. Waldrop, who has been offered by Samford, going to hand off this time. And ball goes to, I believe, was that Thane Barton on the carry?
Yeah, I believe it was out of Westminster, I think.
And there is Raj Waldrop, state record 698 yards passing in a single game against Deerfield Windsor. For his career, 9,761 yards and 108 touchdowns.
Not bad.
Playing GIA, that's the Georgia Independent Association. It's separate from the Georgia High School Association. So now it's going to be 3rd down. Lefty goes up top, and it's going to be caught here on the near sideline for a first down at the 42-yard line. Nicely done. Kendarius Brown out of Hiram comes up with the catch out of the backfield.
Yeah, you're going to see the nice touch right here on Waldrop, throwing this little backside wheel route. And look at the Hiram, what a season Hiram had, but great play there to come back and get that ball. But nice touch again by Waldrop. Some I watched yesterday can layer it. Arm strength.
Yeah, Kendarius Brown, who made that catch, Rusty, he was the fullback in their wing T offense.
Yep.
Had a nice season, been offered by Wittenberg University, Worcester College, and Reinhardt. It's going to be 2nd down. Make that 1st down and 10 as Waldrop scrambles out of the pocket, gets tripped up in the open field, falls forward to the 48-yard line. That was Mark Bulow, the senior out of St. Francis, making the tackle.
Yep. Something we're doing different today, thanks to Coach Mullins out of Allatoona. We have GPS Titan Vest on about 20 players today. So we're trying to collect data for colleges to show their speed, and really, really appreciative of Coach Mullins doing that. We'll also do that in the junior game, and we'll also do that in the freshman-sophomore game. So we'll have about 20, 25 players with GPS vests on. We get their game speeds, which has really become more important than a 40-yard dash.
Yeah, that's huge value added for these young men playing in the Georgia Elite Classic to be able to have that information to provide to scouts. Kendarius Brown going to run for the first down as he crosses the 50 and gets down to the 45. Kendarius Brown is put together well. 5'8", 180 senior, state champion in the 200-pound weightlifting class.
Love that. Low to the ground. See him just finding his hole there and picking up some yards, moving the chains here early.
His head coach, Pete Fomanaya, said pound for pound, the strongest guy I've ever coached. And what a job Fomanaya did with that Hiram program. As you mentioned, they got to the second round of the state playoffs this year, went 9-3. It was their best season in over a decade. So 1st and 10 from the 45. Waldrop fires and complete at the 36-yard line. Nice pass from Waldrop right there to pick up the first down. Ball going to Cannon Hunter, the senior out of East Forsyth.
Yeah, I had to ask him yesterday. I looked at his helmet and I said, what's that? And
New program is what it is.
Yeah, and I've heard of it, but glad to have him here and opportunity to kind of further that program.
So 1st down and 10. Make it 2nd down and 1. Didn't quite pick up the first down. 2nd down and 1 from the 36. Melvin Himanoma now in there at running back. Waldrop fires, complete at the 30 and down the sideline inside the 25-yard line. Javarius George out of North Paulding, who we talked about a few moments ago, showing off his skills.
Yeah, he's done it over and over and over. And small chance he might walk up in here today and commit with us. Biggest school, right?
That'd be great.
I said, look, me and Matt would love, if you want to do that with your family, we would love to have you.
Has 14 total offers, including Middle Tennessee, Western Kentucky, and Coastal Carolina.
Yep. So he made his decision this week. It's not public. And I said, look, if you want to come up and hang out with me and Matt, we'd love to have you. So,
because he's past the early signing day window.
Yes.
Which is only 3 days.
Correct.
So the commitment would be to sign
in February.
The first Wednesday in February. Waldrop throws complete to the 25-yard line, slips a tackle inside the 20, and all the way down to the 16-yard line. Jamarian Walker, the senior out of Woodland in Cartersville.
Nice play there. Nice run after catch there. By the way, just a tad of a face mask there.
What a start to the game for Waldrop, who's now 4 for 4 for 43 yards. The red zone presented by BSN Sports.
I'm telling you, he's going to be really interesting as it goes on, and you get into that January when there's only a few quarterbacks left. And if you want to go on the high school level and you're a program, he's going to be I have a feeling things are going to pick up for him.
So 1st and 10, ball at the 17-yard line. Nice drive put together by the blue team here on their opening possession. That's Fame Barton. Barton inside the 10, scoots to the outside, gets out of bounds at the 4. So Fame Barton, the senior running back out of Westminster, with a big run inside the 5.
Job. Fane came to an MVP camp in late July. Got his invite then as the year goes on, but nice job to bounce back. Good vision there. Show some burst and get some inside the 5.
He's got offers from Hamden, Sidney, and Swanee.
Yep.
Coach McCullum now at Swanee doing a very good job of recruiting the Georgia pool.
Sure is. He was there at the Georgia State Championships all 3 days.
And change at quarterback as Jake Holmes is now in there. We talked about him, a big physical running back at Ola.
Try to go Wildcat with him, kind of.
Got his green Mustang pants on.
So he did miss the bus. The bus was kind of, I had to take him to practice the first day. We got the chance to talk on the way out there. And interesting young man, Barry's another school is recruiting him as well pretty hard.
Rushed for 642 yards this season and 16 touchdowns. He stays in there at quarterback. Going to hand off to Kendarius Brown, and Brown going to get stopped at the 1.5. So pretty impressive drive put together here by this blue team. They've been practicing, 3 days?
3 days. Yep, it's amazing. So I said, Najee, the game before, it's amazing what they can put in 3 days. But you also know the base defense, 4-3 cover 2, so you got time to prepare for those things.
So now 3rd down and goal, the ball just inside the 2-yard line. And touchdown run for Jake Holmes. Jake Holmes, the 6'3", 215-pound senior quarterback out of Ola, down in Henry County, with the touchdown run.
Great opening drive there for the blue team, and got a chance to test it. First time I ever heard of Ola was Chris Rodriguez, who's now in the NFL.
All right, yeah.
He's in the NFL
Kentucky
yep.
Wildcats. They did Kentucky went down there, like you said, first time you ever heard of him.
Yeah.
Heard of Ola was him. Kentucky heard of him.
He played in this game as a junior, and I was like, "Who? This guy's a little different now." Ran with power and speed, and great job by Kentucky getting him.
And the PAT is good. And the blue takes a 7-0 lead. That was Tyler Denny out of Prince Avenue. Saw him kick in the state championship game just a couple of weeks ago. And a 7-0 lead for the blue as the Gold will get the ball for the first time. Now, that's an 8-minute drive. That's a nice long drive right there. There's Chad Nybert, head coach for the Blue, current defensive coordinator at Brookwood High School. 7th school, 24 years. He came to Brookwood from Colquitt County, where he was the coach, and he was an All-American team captain linebacker for the Georgia Southern Eagles. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, he might be one of those all-decade teams with the Georgia Southern Eagles.
Wow. Yep.
That is presented by Sports Turf, as his team, Chad Nybert's Blue team, has taken a 7-0 lead on the Gold, and now we're going to get a chance to see what the Gold can do here. So I guess Tyler Denny going to kick it off right now from the 40. Nice kick, going to drop it at the 5, and so the ball will come out to the 30.
I guarantee you he had his practice at kickoff this year because Prince Avenue scored some points.
They did, a lot of them. Your scoring summary presented by Army National Guard. 12 plays, 70 yards, 7 minutes and 48 seconds with Jake Holmes, the quarterback, rushing it in from 2 yards out. And Waldrop did a really good job on that, too. He didn't get a chance to finish it off, but he was 4 for 4, 43 yards passing in that drive.
What I saw out of him most this week was hitting the receivers in the right area. You know, they can catch the ball, run. He was nice, tight spirals. This is Cam Beasley from Washington
County.
County.
Is Cam Beasley going to start the game at quarterback. And Beasley going to hand off to the first man and get stonewalled at the 31. Just a 1-yard pickup right there. I think that was Ryan Fletcher, defensive end from Alpharetta, was leading the charge for the Blue team.
Yeah, Tyler Hoffman is another one, defensive lineman out west for side. That was Fred Brown on the carry. Don't get him for negative yards much.
Oh, Fred's 5'10", 200.
He'll get better as the day goes on. I can assure you, this is his type of weather, too, now.
Beasley back to pass, has a pocket, now going to run up out of it across the 40, and he's going to go down at the 42, and a first down run by Cam Beasley. Beasley, the 5'10", 175 senior out of Washington County High School.
We just saw a very talented 8th grade quarterback from Washington County.
Fred Brown with the run to the short side, and Brown hit and falls forward another 3 yards. One of the things he does best, he's going to run through contact, and even when he is hit, he falls forward.
He is guaranteed 2. When he gets the ball, he's getting 2.
He was the player of the game in Coffee's state championship victory against Creekside. So second down, and Fred going to get it again. And Fred, ball came out at the end of that play. Let's see if Blue's on top of it. Fred may have fumbled at the 49.
Sure did. They give it to him.
And the Blues got it. Rare mistake by Fred Brown. I know the Gold team wants to say that he was down by contact with the ground, but I don't think so. Look, ball out. You could see very well on that replay. That ball comes out before his knee hits the ground.
Yep. Man, you did not see him cough it up much.
Wow, so they're going to keep it on the Gold side. I thought for sure that he had fumbled.
They've got a challenge if they want to do it. If you want to do it this early, you get 1 per half.
They're not challenging, so the Gold dodges a bullet there because I thought the ball was out. It's going to be 3rd down and 3 now. Beasley going to try to run for it, not going to get there, going to get stopped at the 48-yard line. Big defensive stop right there by Blue.
That was Jamontez Hines from Carver in Somerville.
Jamontez Hines, man, that guy is a offensive line wrecker. See Beasley's numbers on the season. 1,956 yards, 20 touchdown passes, 65% completion. Also rushed for 327 yards with the Gold going for it on 4th down. And now a timeout has been called by Blue. So Blue calls timeout facing 4th down here for the Gold. And they need to get about 5 yards, got to get to the other 47. I should take a look at Dan Mullins. He's the head coach for the Gold team today. It's brought to you by Sports Turf. Current defensive coordinator and strength coach at Allatoona. His 6th season overall, his first year coaching in the Georgia Elite Classic, and served on Luke Fickell's strength staff at Cincinnati. I've always maintained, if I was in charge of hiring a head coach, I'm looking at strength coaches, because those guys build bonds individually and personally with these football players. They are with this team
all day,
all season.
Yep.
While the head coaches and coordinators are in their offices during the offseason, it's the strength coach that's in there with them, building that chemistry. Big believer in strength coaches. So on 4th down, ball is thrown and in and out of the hands at the 45-yard line. Nice play on defense from the Blue.
Mate Johnson, North Paulden, number 6.
Yep. 5'8", 140 senior cornerback comes up with the breakup, and the ball is finally now going to go over. Even though they dodged the bullet on the fumble, they give the ball up anyway at the 48-yard line. So the Blue back on offense. In an all-star game like this, I mean, this is almost like having your serve broken.
Yes. Exactly the way to put that.
So now it's incumbent upon the Gold to come up with a stop. Let's see what the Blue can do here, as Jake Holmes is back in there at quarterback. Going to sling it to the outside and down the sideline to the 40 and inside the 35. Tackle made into the bench. Hopefully he's okay. Ryder Stewart, the young man from West Forsyth.
He's been breaking tackles for 4 years. Runs right through an arm tackle. Just a little bubble screen, get it out to him. We're one-on-one. 2 guys are blocked. And he makes the guy miss.
He's a guy that head coach Dave Spala said if he had the measurables, he'd be a Power 5 prospect. As it is, he's 5'9", 155. Handoff. Down to the 31 goes Imioma. Melvin Imioma, the senior running back out of Kennesaw Mountain.
Coach Carmine really high on him. Good change of direction there inside the tackles. Picked up 4.
Brings up 2nd down and 6. Blue already on top, 7-0 after a 70-yard drive that took nearly 8 minutes to open the game. Jake Holmes stays in there at quarterback. And Kendarius Brown now back in there at running back. And Holmes fires right in the middle, in and out of the hands at the 20-yard line. Incomplete. That was Jamarian Walker who couldn't hold on to it. Now it's going to be 3rd down and 6.
Yep, it's just still said it 15 times. I'll probably say it 15 more. Just amazing how much they can put in this short of time. They don't have wristbands. I mean, they're getting the signal.
True test of a coach's ability to communicate a game plan quickly.
Yep, the input. Yep.
3rd down and 6. Line to gain is the 25. Trouble in the pocket and a quarterback sack back at the 35-yard line. Marlo East, the defensive end out of Washington County, I think was the first guy there.
Man, he had George at the top, and that's where he was trying to go back to. Was unable to set his feet. Jarius George he was running free.
And that is the end of the first quarter. Blue on top of the Gold, 7-0 here in the Senior All-Star Game. Georgia Elite Classic on Peachtree Sports Network.
This is a Peachtree Sports Network weather update powered by Atlanta News First.
Good morning. I'm meteorologist Cutter Martin with your Peachtree Sports Network forecast update, and we have changes on the way. Northern half of the state generally along and north of 16 to 75. That connector there. We do have more clouds, cold air in the forecast, breezy winds, some sprinkles. Metro Atlanta, flurries and sleet pellets along with those sprinkles up into the mountains far north and northeast Georgia. Colder air filtering in across the entire state, but clouds and that chance of flurries most prevalent across the northern third or so of the state of Georgia. Eventually giving way to more sunshine as we get into the back half of the weekend. Clouds, though, do return as we head into next week. Lows tomorrow morning near freezing or below freezing. Northern half of the state, mid-30s, making upper 30s to near 40 down across the southern half of the state of Georgia. Staying in the 40s, North Georgia tomorrow afternoon. 50s from Savannah down to Brunswick.
How would you like to do something really different one weekend a month?
Charlie 2-2, this is Charlie 2-1. Thank you, Sergeant. If you've got what it takes, come join us.
To learn more about the State Defense Force, go to georgiavolunteer.com.
The second quarter, they got the first play of the second quarter underway before we got back. Matt Stewart along with Rusty Mansell. And now the gold team will head out there on offense after the fourth down failed conversion by the Blue on the first play of the second quarter. Let's see who heads out there. Looks like KJ Smith now is going to play quarterback here for the gold team on their second possession. KJ going to throw it to the outside at the 31. Couple of men miss. And trying to turn the edge all the way up to the 50-yard line, Talon Shirey, the wide receiver out of Darlington, who had a great season this year, picks up a first down.
Yep, young man, local school here at Darlington, played for Wayne Groves. Had a few injuries over there at quarterback, got banged up as a team, but everybody speaks really high of him.
KJ Smith going to hand off. I think that was Jesse Washington. Was that 16 getting his first carry of the game? It was. Jesse Washington out of Georgia Military Prep. Got a couple of yards on the play. Second down coming up. So the Gold, after failing on downs, their first possession forces the Blue team into a 4-and-out after they'd crossed midfield. And now they've got it at the 48. 1st and 10. Make it 2nd and 8. And KJ Smith wants to drop back and throw deep in the pocket. Man open inside the 10-yard line. Could not connect with Trayvon Webb.
I tell you, if Trayvon Webb keeps running, this is 6. I don't know if he thought he could get the ball there.
Yeah. Trayvon Webb, the senior wide receiver out of Decatur. Now it's going to be 3rd down.
Watch him. Had the other few there, but when you watch him, he kind of stops. If he keeps running a little bit, we might be looking at an extra point right now.
Yep, run full speed. Said he slowed down because he thought the ball wasn't going to get there, as you pointed out. And it's going to be 3rd down now. 3rd down and 7. Heavy rush. KJ Smith steps up to avoid it. Going to run right up the middle. And he's down to the 33-yard line. I've always thought that KJ Webb reminded me a lot of a smaller Malik Willis, who came through that Roswell program, went on to star at Auburn, actually Auburn, and then star at Liberty, and now in the NFL.
I mean, KJ Smith has been doing this as long as he's ever taken a snap. I mean, he is dangerous with his legs as well. And I was sitting here thinking, don't get upfield with that pass rush, and he made him pay for that.
Going to keep it on the RPO. Nice read by KJ Smith as he lunges forward to the 24-yard line.
He has his offensive coordinator with him from Roswell, so those two are dialed in on what they can do. That's a great read on that pull. See him just get on the edge and get what he can. Nice 9-yard gain.
He was 24-4 as a starting quarterback for the Hornets. Washington gets to the outside. Going to get driven out of bounds at the 11-yard line.
Washington on the carry. Kungu and Jensen on the tackle.
So that's going to bring up second down as they spot the ball at the 21. Washington stays in there at running back with K.J. Smith, the quarterback. Smith surveys the field. Heavy rush. He's in trouble. Quarterback sack back at the 29-yard line.
There's your guy.
Jamontez Hines again. 3-year starter for Coach Miles at Carver, Atlanta. Just an absolute beast coming off the edge.
It's just that run by Carver the last 2-3 years has been special. A lot of players just like Hines.
Took a little bit of a step back this year.
Yep.
Could never kind of figure out that quarterback position.
That region they were
played
in,
of course they play a tough region, small tough region, then play a tough non-region schedule as well. Nearly picked. That would have been a pick six right there. And that was that 88?
Yeah, I believe that's 88.
Let me check that roster there.
Upson Lee. Yep.
Shondarius Fambro.
Yes.
And had him listed as a tight end. He's playing defense.
Yep.
So Fambro nearly had the pick six, and it's going to be third down.
Upson Lee with several players up here this week. Been really good.
Smith in trouble again. Another quarterback sack back at the 39. Great pursuit by this blue defense to get the ball back.
Zacharian Tucker from Noonan, I believe.
And number 91. Yeah, there he is. Zacharian Tucker, 6'2", 245 senior. And now it's going to be fourth down. Yeah, it's officially fourth down. I think our score bug had said 4th and 16. Now it's going to be 4th and distance. And a punting situation. Jarrett Wilson standing at his 49. And the punts aren't live either. I think it's where you field it, right?
Yep. Yep.
In this case, it doesn't matter. The ball kicks into the end zone, so they'll bring it out to the 20. So the Blue heads back out there on offense, Rusty. We'll see if they go back to Waldrop here.
I believe they will here.
He carried, he had the ball in his hands a bulk of that opening drive, and then Jake Holmes was the one who finished it off, and then Jake Holmes took all the snaps in the second possession.
Yeah, you'll be able to see arm strength here because he's definitely throwing into the wind.
So Waldrop in the game, as we mentioned, 4 for 4, 43 yards, all of that coming in that opening possession. The lefty slings it out to the far side, incomplete. Javarius George was his intended target. That was the first time that we've really seen what looked like miscommunication,
yep,
which you would expect a bunch of in this game.
The same thing this morning.
That was the first time the ball went here and the wide receiver went there.
I don't know if I saw it. Now, I saw some running backs do that earlier, but I don't know that I have seen a wide receiver run a different route. And I'm telling you now, you got to find three. He's your guy.
Love what we saw from Javarius George this year. Ball goes to Barton, the running back out of Westminster, as he plows his way up close to the 30-yard line.
Got some juice to him now.
He was first team all-region playing for the Wildcats, had right at 650 rushing yards, over 200 receiving yards this season. It's going to be second down and short. Barton stays in the game next to Waldrop. Going to get the ball again, and Barton lowers his shoulder, picks up the first down at the 32, so runs well between the tackles as well.
Show him the age, graduated with his dad, Luke. Luke was a 91 graduate at Darlington. Got a chance to catch up with him this week. Told him I wasn't allowed to like Luke and Will Muschamp and their whole class over there at Darlington. The public and private schools back then, we just didn't like each other, you know. And we later in life started liking each other.
Well, in the day of social media,
yes,
you're much more connected than you were back in the day.
Yep.
If a kid went to a different school, you just didn't know him. Ryder Stewart with the catch and run. But nowadays, all these kids are so interconnected.
Oh, yeah, hang out in the summer together. And told his dad, I was like, we'd see you at the skating ring, and it was awkward.
It was more like West Side Story with it growing up, you know. It's like
showing our age, man. We didn't have the gram, man. We didn't go live back in the day. We didn't have the gram.
Second down and 8. Ball at the 35. Blue team has really moved the ball well with Waldrop at quarterback. Comes to the near side, and that's going to be a first down catch up to the 43-yard line as George gets it again. Second catch for Javarius George in this game.
I believe that's where they're going to have to go. He's just different. He's just really has that explosive to him. Great ball skills. I think you did the Walton game, right?
Did, yeah. Put on a show in that one. Had 51 catches this year, over 1,200 yards. Averaged 100 yards per game receiving with 8 touchdowns. Waldrop going to take a shot and get thrown to the ground back at the 37-yard line. I think that was Amir Hopper again. Was that 90 or 99?
I think that's Denzel Reed from MLK. Let's see if we got 99. Yeah, Hopper misses him, and then 99 cleans it up.
There you go.
So both of them were in on it, but 99 finished it off. Denzel Reed out of MLK.
So a timeout called by the Gold after the quarterback sack by Denzel Reed. Got to get myself an updated roster. There he is, 99. That's one of the great pleasures of calling one of these all-star games is
let me tell you something.
Check the final roster.
They were making changes this morning. I can assure you that.
Make sure you check the final roster.
How about the new jerseys from BSN Sports?
I love the new jerseys. It's a great blue and gold color combination for the Georgia Elite Classic.
Yep, kids are loving that. Got some texts from former players this morning going, hey, man.
Why didn't I get
Why didn't we get that,
exactly.
You know? You got the Earl Campbell tearaways, and you had a good time.
And you're not joking about that. They were tearaways.
We had some numbers come off last year, if you remember.
Yeah.
These are very, very nice.
Yeah, they're a good look. Third down and long. Waldrop, clean pocket, throws it up here for Kendarius Brown and gets broken up at the 48-yard line.
18.
Mark Bulow, the linebacker.
St. Francis.
He's been active today. 5'11", 195 senior, runs a 4.65 40. Plays that Mike linebacker position for St. Francis. Tough season for St. Francis this year after they reached the semifinals.
Lost
a year ago, man. You talk about needing a roster.
Man, they needed a portal.
They had a lot of players transfer out of that program.
They had Milton 3 or 4, Buford 3 or 4, Norcross 3 or 4. I mean, They can't challenge a.
So what is the challenge?
I don't know. There wasn't a flag on the play. They're telling he's putting it up.
He just wanted to test it out.
They just want to see
if this works.
See if it works.
Don't really want to challenge anything right here. I just want to see if it works, if you guys are paying attention. So let's see. What could possibly be the challenge right here?
Yeah, I don't know if he wanted to challenge. He wanted to say if that was.
So are we playing by NFL rules where they can challenge DPI?
No.
Okay.
Not to my knowledge.
Because that would be the only challenge right there.
We're not doing that.
Which, by the way, is a bad idea, I think.
Yes. Yeah, I agree.
I mean, you can look at a lot of those DPIs 10 times and come up with 10 different decisions.
It's a slippery slope there.
So now a punting situation. Tyler Denny standing at his 26. Now this is
Fred Brown's got a lot of carries left in him.
I did laugh as I was watching the replay of the 5A state championship this week because I knew we had a lot of coffee players, and you were working that game with Larry Smith. And y'all had a close-up of Fred Brown, and you said he's the only guy here who is unhappy we're playing indoors.
Yes, that's right. That's right. This is his weather right here.
Smith looks one way and another. Now slings it out there, Patrick Mahomes style, to the 37-yard line. Tyler Bell, wide receiver from Sequoia, making the catch.
Watch Fred Brown here pick up pass protect. This is something you don't see and you get talked about. I don't know if we have the replay, but something you got to be able to do on the collegiate level is pass pro as a running back, and watch the running back pick up this blitzing backer. Watch him right here step into this. And that's how you do it. That's how you get on the field early in college.
No doubt.
You protect a quarterback, you can play.
Most of these kids probably didn't come to the All-Star game to pass pro.
No, and he did.
That's great awareness by him to know what his job entails. Look at him run all the way up to the 50-yard line. Big Fred Brown getting going.
Yep. And everybody in Northwest Georgia and Bartow County, Cartersville and Cass both understand what he does. Watch this. He's not going to wiggle. Wow. He's not going to wiggle you. He's going through you.
But he might put your shoulder in a sling.
That's right.
KJ Smith goes out there, and Tyler Bell can't hold on to it right there. 2nd and 10 coming up.
That's a good throw by KJ Smith. You want to lead that receiver, and as a receiver, you got to understand you're already in motion. The ball's going to be out in front of you. You got to run through that catch. Saw an 8th grader earlier make that catch, but some people might see that ball and think for KJ Smith he missed. If that was a bad throw, was not. Just was unable to connect to his receiver.
That's a couple of times with KJ in the game where the receiver, that's where you maybe lose a little bit of that relationship of the wide receiver and the quarterback. That's what they spend all summer doing.
That's right. Rep after rep after rep.
You don't get it in 3 days. Another sidearm sling by K.J. Smith, and that's down to the 40, caught by the tight end Aiden Gilbo out of Allatoona.
Yep. Saw him yesterday. A lot of schools, the D2 schools were able to come watch. So the Shorters and the LaGrange and Berry College and all those schools that level were down. There were several schools watching him.
Anytime I see a 6'3", 230-pound kid with, pass catching skills, I'm interested.
That's right.
So 1st and 10, ball at the 40-yard line. Fred Brown again, and the ball is out, and it's going to be recovered by the Blue at the 43. Wow.
That is
Brandon Robinson out of ML King comes up with the fumble recovery.
33 stripped it.
It was Jamontez Hines who got in there was riding him down on the back and reached in there and raked it right out.
Man, I know Fred Brown is extremely upset. I can't even imagine the amount of carries he had as a senior without fumbles.
How much of that do you think also, because we've seen a couple now.
Yeah.
You're in an all-star game. You're thinking, this is my last shot. I got to do a little something extra. And you maybe don't tidy up the fundamentals.
Yeah, you just kind of, he's going to regroup. He is not happy with himself, standing away by himself at the end down there. And he'll get it right, but that is something that just see some nerves there.
Jake Holmes with the handoff and the run up to the 47-yard line. That was Melvin Emioma again.
And if you watch Emioma at the end, he's going to put two hands over the ball. When he's about to get hit, and you'll see him get to the hole, he puts two hands over the football. It's well coached there.
Update on the Gator Bowl. Kentucky, a 21-16 lead on Clemson. Phil Maffa just scored the touchdown for the Tigers. Remember him? Grayson Rams.
Boy, that's a big running back.
Double move and jump ball intercepted at the 26-yard line. Coming back the other way. Jordan Green out of Rutland with the pick and return.
Did you see what the wind did to that ball?
You cannot hang it up there.
You're not going to throw anything with the height right now.
He got it up there in the jet stream, and that ball came backwards. Plus, there was three-man coverage, but that was Jake. Make that Jordan Green with the pick. And the Gold going to take over.
After the interception, it's a blindside block on goal. First down goal.
And every time I see this, it's the blindside block, the protection of the defenseless player.
Yep.
And I get it. It's important. Helps cut down on concussions and other injuries. But I can't help but think of back in the day, you got helmet stickers for this.
Oh, no doubt. And they ran it back. They ran it back. You know what I mean? Like, hey, let's run
and
that.
Everybody
they run the reel back.
It's a tough thing, but you got to adapt to it. And these kids aren't so young that they don't remember that. But just something you got to adapt to in this game. K.J. Smith stays in there at quarterback for the Gold. And they've got 73 seconds to try to get on the board here before halftime. Smith fires near side. It's caught at the 24. Then a step out at the 26. That's Pat McCall, the Coffee Trojan, making his first catch.
Not able to officially announce anything, but not real sure this will be the last time you'll see some Coffee players in this stadium. So hoping to have some Coffee Trojans up in Northwest Georgia at some point next fall.
Subtle hint right there.
Subtle hint that might get Coach Code and those guys back up here for,
I don't know what, the Corky Kell Classic, something like that?
I don't know, maybe a little game or two.
All right.
I don't want to get us both in trouble.
And KJ Smith in trouble, going to take a sack back at the 11. Now a flag comes out.
Late flag.
Jamontez Hines was in on that tackle, and so was Zacharian Tucker. It's a combo quarterback sack. We probably have a face mask.
5-yard face mask on the defense. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Cecil Gray, our referee. There's a look at the rest of the officials working the Senior All-Star Game. It's brought to you by IBEW Local 613.
And when I tell you they want to be out here, I can't imagine how many crews said, "Nah, we're good." But appreciate those guys coming out and finishing off the high school football season. Hard to believe, Matt. This is.
Yeah.
I mean, we always start the Corky Kell luncheon, and you kind of know when we get to that luncheon, it's on.
So 4 months later, we wrap it up.
Yep.
And in the midst of all that, you had the face mask. So 1st and 5 now from the 31. Clock now under a minute. KJ Smith, heavy rush again, and he gets out of it. Pump fake and throws in the middle, incomplete, looking to try to squeeze it into a tight space at the 40-yard line. Camonte Durden was his target.
And that's KJ Smith's game. Like you have to get him to the ground.
That's one of the things that I would think in a game like this, all of them that we, televise here today, is like offensive line protection. Those guys are, there's nothing that takes longer to develop in football than the cohesion of an offensive line.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
2nd down and 5. KJ Smith in the middle. That's caught at the 44. And that's going to be a 1st down up to the 50-yard line. That was Talon Shirey again, his 2nd catch of the game.
Nice catch. Nice throw and catch there. And tell you, Shirey's got some juice to him.
He runs a 4.5 240.
Yep.
5'9", 180 senior, and a timeout called by Gold. He's been offered by Birmingham Southern.
And you talk about how do you help protect the offensive line? That's why you have rules defensively. You can't blitz from the linebacker position. You got to know where those guys are going to be every play to help give the offense any type of chance. Now, I will tell you this, they have been known. I started seeing some linebackers creep up there late in that last game and
disguising those
blitzes.
Yeah,
disguise, but it's hard to get an offensive line group like that together so quick. So to help them, you have to have rules in place to know no stunning, those types of things. Just a lot of one-on-ones.
Got a couple of 300-plus pounders on that offensive line. 69 right there. You see him walking out of your shot. Robert Calhoun, 6'5", 325 senior out of Crawford County.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity for him. You know what I mean? To come up here and compete with 6A, 7A kids, West Forsyth kids, and MLK kids, and Carver kids, and those types of things.
So 1st and 10, ball at the 50, down to 37 seconds to play in the half. Pocket stays clean and caught. What a catch at the 27-yard line by Travion Webb, leaving his feet to haul it in.
What a catch on a post route. Talking about dropping in a bucket, and Webb went and got it.
Clock continues to run, under 20 seconds left in the half. Now we have movement. That'll stop the clock, and Gold got moving on that. Here's another look at that catch.
Wow. Nice job.
Legal procedure. False start on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Replay the down.
I challenge you to take off running as fast as you can and then leap and catch something in full stretch out and see how that works out for you.
Yeah, and that ball was nearly by him too. It was almost like he had fly paper.
He tracked it. Yep.
Almost like he had fly paper on his hands. He was able to stick that thing. So 1st and 15 now from the 32. Going up top and incomplete. Camonte Durden, his target, young man out of Washington County. Looks like a pretty big target at 6'2", 180.
Yeah.
He looks more like a tight end.
Yep.
So now it's going to be 2nd down and 15. 11 seconds left in the half. So do you go for the end zone here, Rusty, or you try to cut that thing in half and kick a field goal?
Scored what you got out of your kicker. I hadn't had a chance to see either one of those. But
got Jarrett Wilson from Kell, and you will be kicking with the wind at your back.
Jarrett Wilson yesterday was booming them. Now the wind's at his back.
Yep. So you got that working for you.
He was, and there's no rush.
Nice one-handed catch in the open field at the 35 and down to the 31.
Uh-oh, they got to call timeout. They got one.
That was Jesse Washington. Timeout burned with 1 second.
Yeah.
Heard someone yell from down below they don't have any timeouts, so
well,
apparently they did.
Yeah, you see big 69 there, and
that's Robert Calhoun.
Yep, coming in from. See him next to Blakely there, 55. J.B. Jenkins from Blakely County. Had Von Lasser up here. His son is a freshman long snapper.
Yep, saw him on the roster. We'll see him tonight at 7 o'clock.
Had a chance to talk with him down the field.
I think it's Zayden.
Yes.
Zayden Lassiter.
Yep. Got a chance to talk to him yesterday or 2 nights ago on practice field. And said, man, the last time I saw you, you were about knee-high to Amarius Mims. And now being about 6'1", he's still probably at his shoulder, maybe.
Marius Mims, one large human. It's what, 6'8", 320?
Yeah, probably NFL Combine 6'7". Not expecting him to play tomorrow. Expecting him to be a first-round draft pick probably next May.
So going to go for it on the final play here of the half with 1 second unless we have a defensive penalty.
Top of the screen.
Horn sounds. KJ being chased and going to throw on the run to the end zone. And it sails out of the end zone as Durden makes the catch, but not in bounds. And that's going to be the end of the half. And a 7-0 lead for the Blue. So the Blue scored on their opening possession with 70 yards, close to 8 minutes, and they have made it held up to this point. Halftime here in Rome with the Blue on top by a touchdown.
This is a Peachtree Sports Network weather update, powered by Atlanta News First.
Good morning. I'm meteorologist Cutter Martin with your Peachtree Sports Network forecast update, and we have changes on the way. Northern half of the state, generally along and north of 16 to 75. That connector there, we do have more clouds. Cold air in the forecast, breezy winds, some sprinkles. Metro Atlanta, flurries and sleet pellets along with those sprinkles up into the mountains far north and northeast Georgia. Colder air filtering in across the entire state, but clouds and that chance of flurries most prevalent across the northern third or so of the state of Georgia. Eventually giving way to more sunshine as we get into the back half of the weekend. Clouds, though, do return as we head into next week. Lows tomorrow morning near freezing or below freezing. Northern half of the state, mid-30s, making upper 30s to near 40 down across the southern half of the state of Georgia. Staying in the 40s, North Georgia tomorrow afternoon. 50s from Savannah down to Brunswick.
Oh my gosh.
World Chase Tag is the Pro League tournament for the planet's most intense new game, which takes the art of being hunted down to a whole new level. It is relentless and fiercely intense, with a chaser having just 20 seconds to get a hand on an invader.
He's done it! He has done it!
And there's only one rule. Don't get caught.
Tuesdays at 7 on Peachtree Sports Network. The BSN Sports Georgia Elite Classic is sponsored by the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers Local 613. Electrify your career. Sports Turf. You bring the vision, we'll bring it to life. Gatorade. Fuel tomorrow. Smart Local 85. Sheet metal is a smart move. And by the Georgia Army National Guard. The next generation is now.
All right, welcome back to the halftime show brought to you by KendricksCars.com. We are halfway through our 5-game marathon today, and we're going to preview 2 games right now. We got sophomore head coach Sean O'Sullivan. He's going to be in the sophomore freshman game, and we got David Holland. He'll be in our junior game, which is coming up next. Let's start with Coach O'Sullivan. What has stood out this week preparing for this matchup? What are you excited for today? 7 yards.
Well, I think just the talent level in this sophomore team we have. We got good players from all around the state, and just watching them from all different schools come together and have a great experience these last couple of days and work hard at practice, and just excited to see them get out and compete tonight.
Yeah, Brody McCorder, he's a quarterback that's going to be playing for you guys. He impressed me all season long, and then seeing you guys at practice, just the amount of targets you guys have will be very exciting. But let's talk about the junior game. When we first started the Georgia Elite Classic, the junior game, that's the big draw. These guys are heading into their senior season. What have you seen just with their motivation to come out here and ball out?
I think the juniors have done a really good job of coming out and competing against one another, really showing why they're getting the attention that they're getting from college coaches. Practices have been really, really good. Energy's been great. Guys are flying around and making plays defensively. Offensively, we're coming together really, really well, so I'm very excited to see those kids come out and compete today.
And then what position or side of the football did you get to focus on this week in the preparation?
So I'm coaching the linebackers today, and, you know, those guys, they're absolutely great. You know, this is actually the most linebackers I've had. It's the third time I've done this game. Got 9 really, really good players. The hardest part's going to be getting all of them, you know, kind of equal minutes and getting everybody the opportunity to showcase the kind of player they are. So,
yeah, can't wait for that one. I'll be calling that one with Matt. And then Coach O'Sullivan, last thoughts just on this game, heading up against the freshmen. Have you seen anything on their roster that worries you?
Oh, yeah, no, the freshmen, they got a great squad over there. Coach Troop does a good job. This is my second time doing this game, actually facing off against him again. So it'll be a good time. The freshman roster is loaded as well, so it should be a good game to watch.
Yeah, can't wait for it. All right, guys, well, we shortened the halftime. It's only 8 minutes, so we'll be back with the second half in just a few.
We celebrate the athletes, the buzzer beaters, the record breakers, the wins. Now, it's time to celebrate the people behind it all. The advice givers, the community shapers, the game changers, the life changers. It's time to celebrate our coaches. Join all of us at BSN Sports and show your coach some love by sharing their story with #ThankYouCoach.
Hendrick.
Drive now, pay later. Shop HendrickCars.com this month and make no payments for 90 days. Over 20,000 new and pre-owned vehicles. No payments for 90 days. Visit HendrickCars.com.
Beginning the morning you opened your eyes, we spent every waking moment preparing you for the day you'd leave our nest. Whether it's driving to practice or helping with homework, it's all prepared you for, what am I going to be when I grow up? Will you be ready?
After much thought, I made my decision to take my talents to the IBEW Local 613.
The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers is not simply a job, it's a career. Visit IBEW613.org to begin a new future today.
All right, welcome back to the Halftime Show, brought to you by KendrickCars.com. We got one more quick interview before we kick things back off. I'm with Pam Smith, the Chamber of Commerce of Rome-Floyd County.
Good job.
Yes, I got it. But I want to ask you just about Rome in general. I think there's such an interesting blend of just history, but also you guys are developing. What have you seen just with Rome and where the future's heading?
Yeah, we have a lot of exciting stuff going on. We have a lot of development, like you said. Downtown obviously is everybody's favorite because there's lots to do. Great restaurants, great shopping. I hope all the folks here at the football game have been going downtown. But yeah, we're kind of excited for the next couple years to see what's going to happen.
I know 2 days up here is not enough. I was prowling Broad Street last night. But no, it's such a great place. And what about the events, though? Obviously, this is a big one. We got the Corky Kell Dave Hunter Classic, but then Rusty was talking about some of these concerts and all the things you guys have over there in the Forum.
Yeah, correct. So between the Forum and then just outdoor downtown concerts and then things going on over at Ridge Ferry, there's something going on all the time. We always tell locals that if they say there's nothing to do in Rome, they're crazy because there's a lot to have going on here.
I know. I could make a whole week out of it. Play pickleball there, go to the Forum, try out all these restaurants.
You can ice skate this week if you want to.
Yeah, I saw that. So, yeah, talk about that. That's over at the park. You guys do, what, like a month-long, 2-month-long ice skate?
So Parks and Rec did that, and that is actually almost 2 months. I mean, it's a long time. It'll go through middle January, so people can still keep having fun even after Christmas is over. But there's lots of activities outside the ice skating rink, food trucks, and all that good stuff.
And then last point real quick, just the community of Rome. What have you seen with that? Just how great a place it is to live.
Yeah, we do have a great community, and I think a lot of people would be surprised that, you know, even if you're out in the county or if you're from the city, everybody kind of plays a part in our community. So we're really lucky around here.
Absolutely. Well, I love it here, but we'll be back with the second half. Thanks for joining us.
Okay, going back to one.
This industry is my life. The Georgia film industry feeds my children, and it feeds my dreams, which are two very important things. The film community is a real vital ecosystem. You can make a living in an incredible town.
Real jobs, real impact. Support Georgia Films. Visit whygeorgia.com.
From the baseline to the sideline, the best live sports from Atlanta and beyond are on Peachtree Sports Network. The biggest plays, the instant classics, and the next rising stars are right here on Peachtree Sports Network, your home for live local sports.
Power Nation is your source for authentic automotive how-to. Detroit Muscle, celebrating the passion and performance of Motor City Cool. Truck Tech, smoking the streets and tackling the trails are just part of highway hauling fun. Engine Power, it's high cranking performance with the science of speed and torque. And our newest show, Car Kiss, imagination, fabrication, and plenty of perspiration. Let the thrill begin. Power Nation.
Back at Barron Stadium in Rome as we get ready for the start of the second half in our seniors all-star game. The blue leading the gold 7-0 here in the 2023 Georgia Elite Classic. Matt Stewart along with Rusty Mansell. And Rusty, as we look ahead to the second half, I think right now our leader for MVP of the game might be defensive end Jamontez Hines out of Carver, Atlanta for the blue. 4 total tackles, 2 quarterback sacks, and a TFL.
He's kind of, that word, wreaked havoc for them, and you look at somebody how you impacted the game, and I certainly would have no issues giving a defensive lineman an MVP in something like this.
Let's take a look at the first half stats. They are presented by the U.S. Army, and you see the 104 yards rushing for the gold team. Most of that has come from K.J. Smith in the quarterback position.
Yes, when he's had to get outside of the box and escape the pressures, but certainly I think a couple things that stand out to me: the inability of the blue team so far to run the football, but listen, one thing, Matt, we are consistent with, we want everyone to play. But at some point in the game, we understand you got to turn some guys loose. So I'm interested to see what they do with Waldrop in the second half for the blue team with the quarterback, Roger Waldrop, and see if they can get some momentum with him because they did early on.
And your halftime stats, again, brought to you by U.S. Army. Waldrop, you mentioned, he was 4 for 4, 43 yards on that opening possession when they went 70 yards and scored. He's only 6 for 8, 54 yards, so that means he's 2 for 4 for 11 yards since that opening drive. A lot of it, though, goes back to not necessarily the gold team shutting him down. He's just not been on the field as they alternate the quarterback.
And that's part of it. We meet with each staff on the Zoom call, and listen, I understand these are high school coaches, and I understand the competitive level, but we want everyone here to have opportunity and reps. Our kind of rule of thumb, Matt, is in the fourth quarter, you do what you need to do. And so we'll see what they do here, and I can tell you this: if I'm that team, you're going to have to stop Javarius George for me because he's kind of that different guy I felt like in practice all week. And simply take some shots with him down the field because the blue team is going to have the win with them in the third quarter.
And George, as you mentioned, he's the top wide receiver in the game, 2 catches for 20 yards. And it'll be interesting to see as the gold comes out here. Do they go with Cam Beasley? He had the first series for the gold, and then it was K.J. Smith the rest of the way. K.J., 6 of 11 passing for 36 yards, 5 carries, 64 yards rushing. A lot of that scrambles, not necessarily designed runs.
Yeah, he's having to – they're going to go out with Beasley here, coming back out. So he's also got some wiggle to him as well, so we'll see what he does.
Yeah, Beasley only 1 pass attempt in that opening drive, also had a couple of carries for a total of 10 yards. So Beasley back out there at quarterback to begin this third quarter for the gold. They're down a touchdown. Beasley's got offers including Kentucky State, Sewanee, Culver, Stockton, and Carthage. Like we mentioned, for these seniors, this is really a big game. I don't know that you could really ever come up with a bigger game for a high school group than the seniors in this game.
Yep, I stood at the practice field yesterday at Barry, and I didn't want to say it to those kids, but I thought, you know what, this is a lot for a lot of you. It's the last time you'll ever practice.
Yeah,
not much less play on the next level. This is the last time you will have a practice, but hoping it's not the case.
High snap and stopped right there at the line of scrimmage. Great pursuit again by the Blue defense. Zycarian Tucker, who had a quarterback sack in the first half, comes up with a TFL to start the third quarter.
He's played well. He's played well, too. Start talking about defensive linemen. High snap kind of throws that off. And penetration at that point, to add to it. So there's not a ton going on.
Yeah, Tyler Hoffman out of West Forsyth, who we mentioned with a half sack and a TFL in that first half. He was in on that tackle as well. Second down, and nothing doing for Fred Brown as he gets shoved back.
Tucker again. Nice play. 2 plays in a row for the senior defensive lineman. And I think you see the goal team, knowing the wind, you're going into the wind right now. Do we try to run the football? And I know Fred Brown's had a couple of turnovers, which is not really the case with him. I certainly would get him the football and try to get him going.
So third down, another TFL, back-to-back losses to start this third quarter for the Gold. And now Beasley's going to go to the air. Heavy rush, steps up to elude it and throws incomplete. Looking for the tight end, Aiden Gilbo, and it's going to be fourth down. I thought that was a great observation, though, with the wind howling into your face. You know the chance that you're going to be able to vertically get down the field with the deep shot, the long ball, is going to be very limited.
Yep. Now this is big here to catch the ball where it's punted here, because it's going to get in the wind. We've seen the wind already stop a couple of punts.
Let's see if Gerald Wilson tries rugby style, and again he did not. And they're going to catch it at the 46, and that's where the blue team's going to start. Might have been better to try just a line drive rugby-style kick about 10 yards off the ground.
And to his defense, he's trying that on TV as well.
Yep.
So, I mean, he's trying to show he can punt through the weather, kick the ball, get some distance on it. But you're right, maybe a rugby kick there, try to get that roll. But looks like they're going to come with Waldrop right here to start this second half. And I expect to see some of that short timing stuff they were throwing. A lot of those little curl routes, things got him kind of in a rhythm, got him kind of going. And they got 7 points on that first drive.
Waldrop this season, program record, 3,408 yards passing, 40 touchdowns, and a 61% completion rate. Just a fabulous senior season to mark a great career at the Brookwood School in Thomasville. Going to hand off, and that's going to be Barton on the carry.
He's been nice too. How many times do you think the conversation around Thomasville and Thomas County Central fans were like, well, can we get that kid across town? Can we get that kid in here the last couple of years? And kudos to him. Stayed at his school.
Barton with 3 carries, 25 yards in the first half.
Yeah, he told me yesterday kind of Hampton-Sydney's a school that's really, he feels like, is a good fit for him. He's going to see how things unfold, but really like that coaching staff and kind of what their product is up there.
Second down and 9. Handoff goes to Barton.
Look how patient he is there.
Looking for the hole, and he gets up to the 50. Gain of 3 on the play. That's a good description. He was very patient.
Yep.
The play was slow materializing in front of him, just looking for the crack in the protection there to get through.
On a hand on the back right here, this guy. Okay, you go that way, and I'm going to come in behind you. But sometimes it's not going to be 8-9 yards. Sometimes you got to get what you can get. Got
it's going to be third down and 7, third down and 6. And Waldrop going to go down. Heavy rush coming in on him. He had to get down in a hurry. And quarterback sack going to be credited to Christian Kreitzer out of Rutland.
Yep. Was unable to set his feet with immediate pressure there off the edge. Nice job by Kreitzer. And Rutland and Macon, they about every 2 or 3 years, they put out a couple good, guys. Always have.
So Denny stands at his 31 to punt, has the wind at his back, and he takes advantage of it.
Wow, look at that.
Look at that bomb off his foot. Taking advantage of that 15-plus mile-per-hour wind at his back. and drops it down at the 13-yard line.
Yeah, we've been watching NFL for so long. You understand, like Soldier Field and Lambeau and all that.
Oh.
You understand how, and the East Rutherford, the Meadowlands used to be the worst. But you understand the wind, and when you got it to your advantage. And
Heinz Field in Pittsburgh.
Yes, he took advantage of that right there. What a bomb off of his leg.
So it looks like Cam Beasley going to stay out here for the second possession of this third quarter and run the show at quarterback. Fred Brown, who's still trying to get on track here. 7 carries, 21 yards for Fred Brown in this game. Ball was tipped at the line of scrimmage. I think that might have been Jamontez Hines again.
Somebody's going to have to block him, or they're going to have issues.
Yeah, number 33, he's your leader right now for player of the game in my book.
Yep.
Jamontez Hines has just been unblockable coming off the edge for the Blue. Not surprised, having seen Jamontez Hines play a number of seasons for Carver Atlanta.
Oh, he almost
and
picked that.
Nearly intercepted. You look at Jamontez Hines, he's like, come on, man. I got a piece of that one. That's back-to-back.
Brandon Robinson out of MLK. You would talk about watching it. I had an elevated view, obviously, and he tracked that thing. He saw it immediately. When that ball took a minute to get there, he almost housed that one.
So now it's going to be 3rd down and 10.
Always think about MLK. You think of Blake Tibbs. That Stevenson MLK game, one of the best games.
One of the craziest
I was on the sideline.
ever.
One of the wildest games that I've ever seen to this day.
Beasley in the pocket, fires, and nice catch at the 22-yard line as Camonte Durden lays out for it. And did they get enough for the first down, though? Yeah, they did.
Yep. Nice throw and catch there. Nice protection.
Second catch of the game for Durden. Handoff goes to Fred Brown. He tries to reverse direction and fights just to get back to the line of scrimmage. This Blue team has done a really good job at the line of scrimmage.
They are running to the football, especially up front. When you cannot blitz and you're able to create negative plays with just 4 down linemen, that's a defensive coordinator's dream.
2nd down and 9. Keeper this time by Beasley. That was a mistake as he gets tossed to the ground by Jamontez Hines again.
I know we don't have headsets for the coaches, but when you come to the sideline, at some point we've got to put a body on him. We have got to put a body on him.
They haven't been able to do it yet in this game. I know Coach Darren Miles in Carver, Atlanta, are going to be unhappy to see him go. And, of course, his season is over. But he's putting on a show here in his last game as a senior here in the Georgia Elite Classic. Coming off the edge again, and he strip sacks. Quarterback strip sack for Jamontez Hines. He's looking like LT out there.
Watch him bend, Matt. If we got this replay, watch him bend around this tackle. Watch this bend at the top.
Being held, too.
Yeah, he got held. The first move he gave, man, I tell you, he is something else.
Putting on a show reminiscent of Lawrence Taylor coming off the edge.
Holding.
I don't want to show that
On the
football
offense,
nerd in
that
me, but you're
penalty
talking
is
about
declined.
not having ankle
First down.
stiffness. He is the opposite of that.
I mean, he was being held, and he was still able to get the strip sack.
Man, he lowered his shoulder and dipped right underneath that tackle.
So with the turnover.
What a play.
With the turnover, the Blue takes over in the BSN Sports red zone. And by the way, that was Zacharian Tucker who recovered the fumble that was stripped and forced by Jamontez Hines.
See if they come here and run the quarterback.
And they got Jake Holmes back out there now at quarterback.
See if they use him to run the football here.
They've used him primarily as a red zone quarterback here. Short yardage quarterback. Kendarius Brown going to get it instead. Going to try to bounce it outside. and gets stopped at the 11-yard line. That was a great tackle in the open field by Aiden Johnson, the senior from Winder Barrow.
Great tackle. You're the last man standing between you and the end zone, trying to get out on the edge. Nice job bouncing out right here. Watch this tackle in space. Good job. 22 Roswell.
Yeah, it was actually 22.
Connor Beach.
Connor Beach from Roswell. It was just Aiden Johnson cleaning up on the play. So 2nd down and 4. To the air and down at the 1. Or incomplete. Couldn't get it in there to Jamarian Walker. Jake Holmes trying to squeeze it into a tight spot. It's going to be 3rd down.
Windows get tighter.
So 3rd down and 4. They can pick up a 1st down at the 7. Barton right up the middle, 1st down and more. Barton touchdown.
Nice job.
Thane Barton takes it in from 11 yards out, and it's a 13-0 lead for the Blue. Nice cutback right there. Got a nice block in the middle. Might have been Dylan Moorhead. I couldn't tell. Was it 65 on that block in the middle? Maybe not. Anyway, someone threw a nice block in the middle. You see those offensive linemen, they're like, this ain't live, I'm not bending down.
That's right.
I've been down enough. This isn't live, I'm not bending down for the PAT.
Yep.
14-0 Blue. So they're able to cash in after the defense forced the fumble, the strip sack on the quarterback, and a 14-0 lead now for the Blue, which seems astronomical right now. They're shutting it down.
Yes.
Gold's going to have to figure some things out, primarily how to block Jamontez Hines.
That's the first thing we got to work on. We got to run away from him. Because we're going to have a back and chip on him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And see what he does with this wind here.
Here's your U.S. Army, Georgia Army National Guard scoring summary. 3 plays, 14 yards, and Barton with the 11-yard touchdown run after the fumble recovery. Gave him a short field. So with the wind at his back, it drops down at 3. The other factor for the kickers that you have to consider is, and you're thinking at home, well, he's got his wind to the back. Why didn't he put that in the end zone? Those footballs are hard as rocks.
Oh, man. Yeah, kick a ball right now. Come here and do all that. But congratulations, Prince Avenue, again. Talk to John Rick. John Rick is the offensive coordinator of the next game.
Yep.
And,
Mark Rick's son.
Talked to him on the field. I said, Coach, here's the good news. The good news is you got 17 returning starters. The other news is Aaron Philo is not coming back. So
Aaron Philo,
got to find a placement for that, and we're going to see one potential out of that equation. Interesting, probably going to be a battle between Jake Bobo, Mike Bobo's son's a
Ben
junior,
Musser.
and Ben Musser, the freshman.
And he's playing in the freshman game.
So they're really excited about both those quarterbacks, and they're going to let that thing play out on the field. Coach Rick said they're going to let that thing play out through the spring and summer, and
that was Shirey with his 3rd catch of the game. KJ Smith, no Beasley back in there at quarterback. I thought KJ threw that pass, but maybe not. Jesse Washington.
Maybe doing a quarter. Beasley may do the 3rd, and KJ may do the 4th.
Approaching 5 minutes to play in this 3rd quarter.
Going to save the quarter with KJ with a win.
Well, right now, it looks like he's going to have to make up a 2-touchdown deficit unless the Gold can put something together here going into the wind in the 3rd quarter. Beasley going to wind up and throw it deep for Durden, and he can't come up with it. right there.
Good effort, too.
And Camonte Durden couldn't haul it in.
That was impressive into that wind. And then Durden with a heck of an effort to almost stretch out and get that.
And maybe fight through some DPI right there, too.
The refs would let them play today. That's been consistent.
So punting situation here, Jarrett Wilson standing at his 21 to kick. More of a line drive kick this time.
Good ball.
That was a nice kick. Just something, don't get it too high to where the wind's going to impact. You got to try to kick it under that jet stream, which I think he was able to do that time. And let's see where they spot the ball. Looks like it's going to be spotted at the 27. And that's where the Blues going to go back on offense, up a couple of touchdowns. We'll try to give a little love to the offensive lines here.
Yeah, let's give some guys
as we go through the third and fourth quarters. Braden Smith is the center for the Blue, 6'3", 320, out of Flint River Academy.
Flint River Academy. I actually watched his tape and was looking for a center and for this game, and was excited to have him.
I think that's Brandon Clemens, 6'3", 330 senior. Langston Hughes lined up next to him at offensive guard. Incomplete. You saw Waldrop step over here to the sideline and talk to his bunch wide receivers here at the bottom of your screen. Waldrop going to go up top and unable to run under it. George, they've been trying to get that all day. Good coverage out there that time. Xavier Lott out of Rutland.
Yeah, take a shot there.
And another 3-and-out quick punting situation here for Tyler Denny and the Blue.
We got a long snapping. Can you see there?
It's supposed to be Aiden Hunt out of Brookwood High School. Is it 82? Can you identify? Because that's who it's supposed to be.
He bombs that one up.
That's a great kick. Stack fields it inside the 20-yard line.
82. I believe that's Aiden Hunt.
Yep, it is.
Yep, those guys a little bit. I think that's his teammate of Raj.
Is that Brookwood School or Brookwood High School?
I think it's the Brookwood School with a helmet. See that helmet?
Yes, that's definitely not the Broncos.
That's not the Broncos. So, and his pants, too. So, yeah, I think that's the Brookwood School as well.
So let's see who's the quarterback. Can keep Beasley out there, so you might be right. It might be a quarter situation here in the second half. Cam Beasley stays in there at quarterback for the Gold. Fred Brown lined up next to him. Been a slow day for him. 8 carries, 22 yards. Had a couple of fumbles, too. One that counted, one that didn't. Pump fake. Pressure. Quarterback sack. Blue comes through again with another big play.
Yeah, you can't pump fake the speed of these guys.
Ryan Fletcher out of Alpharetta. Alpharetta Raiders comes up with the quarterback sack. 6'2", 235 senior. By my count, I think they're up around 5 or 6 sacks in this game.
It could be. There's Fred Brown.
Brown all the way up to the 39-yard line. Big run for Fred Brown.
That's their player. That's their piece. Good blocking that time. Getting some guys.
Yeah, I think they, let's see, 4.5, 5.5. Yeah, they're up to 7 sacks in this game. Brown gets stonewalled at the line of scrimmage that time. So we go under 2.5 minutes to play here in the third quarter.
Remember talking to Cartersville coach Connor Foster. Said, what's the scout report? He said, Rusty, he's sneaky fast, and he has great vision, and he's hard to tackle. And he said, and unfortunately for us, he got better as the game went on.
At 5'10", 200 pounds, he doesn't look like a great athletic running back, but he is. Jesse Washington gets stonewalled. Wow.
Blue defense flying around right now. Got some momentum to him. .42 from the Daresville. I got Biden Payne, defensive end. Had a chance to watch him yesterday. I liked what I saw out of him. A little bigger than I thought he was in person.
Take your pick on who was the guy you give that tackle to. Beasley hit as he throws, dumps it off to Washington. Washington in the open field. Washington still on his feet, running hard all the way down to the 34.
Big conversion right there. Nice job by the quarterback extending the play under pressure. Steps up. Payne gets, watch the defensive end. He gets pass rush right here, but he climbs the pocket, keeps his eyes down the field, just drops this ball off.
I think that was Jamontez Hines who came in there late. Was that somebody else who came in there and hit him right as he threw?
Got a player down right now, but best offensive play in a while for this Gold team.
Yeah, I don't think it was Hines. And that is Fletcher. Is that Fletcher, I think, who was shaken up on the play?
Yes.
Injury report is presented by the Governor's Office of Highway Safety. Looks like he's going to be okay, just shaken up momentarily. .56 seconds to play in the third quarter. Beasley stands in the pocket, another quarterback sack. That's the 8th for the blue team. They're just feeding right now. Yep. Zacharian Tucker was there. Might have been Tyler Hoffman, too.
Look at my man right here, J.B. Jenkins out of Bleckley County. I don't even know what height and weight he is. Doesn't matter. He standing inside 69, so it's not helping him at 6'5", but man, that's what it's all about. Senior, trying to play one last game and playing some center, and Coach Laster, his head coach. That's what it's about.
Second down, ball at the 41. Heavy rush coming off the edge again, and they were just trying to hold that time. Didn't help him. Fred Brown in the open field all the way down to the 13-yard line on the final play of the third quarter.
Love the play call. Love the play call.
Something to offset the pass rush.
Yes, quick time. Let's get the ball out in space. Can't block them right now up front.
That'll send us to the fourth quarter. Blue on top, 14-0, but the Gold working on a drive.
ADHD diagnoses in the United States for school kids has increased by 43% in less than 10 years.
This was the first time a teacher ever mentioned ADHD. I was super offended.
A big part of me thought it was a bogus diagnosis.
The flip side of distractibility is curiosity. What's that? What's that? What's that? If you didn't care, you wouldn't get distracted.
I'm a risk taker. I'm creative.
Zara's a brilliant writer.
He has a lot of skills, like to ask questions, to be argumentative, to push boundaries.
Around ADHD, there's tremendous ignorance. Most people are not aware of the positives that go with it.
Can't sit still, disorganized, can't focus, lazy, stupid.
You can't make it. You never listen, you don't clean your room. It's a super skill set.
Rhino Shield is the real deal. It's a product that looks just like paint, is sprayed on like paint, but it's going to last 5 to 7 times longer than traditional paint.
We did Rhino Shield 14 years ago, and the house still looks the same as the first day. It just sounded wonderful that we could go ahead and have the house coated with Rhino Shield and literally not have to worry about it again for 25 years.
Get your free estimate today.
And Sports Georgia Elite Classic is sponsored by the Corky Kell and Dave Hunter Classic, the official kickoff to Georgia high school football, the Mechanical Trades Institute, the best kept secret everyone should know about, the Georgia Sheet Metal and Air Conditioning Contractors Association, careersinsheetmetal.com, building a solid future. The Georgia High School Football Media Day, Georgia's largest celebration of high school football. National Signing Day Frenzy, a celebration of Georgia high school football seniors. And by the Georgia High School Football Hall of Fame, Georgia's newest football tradition.
Start of the fourth quarter at Barron Stadium in Rome, Georgia. The Blue leading the Gold in the Senior All-Star game. Matt Stewart along with Rusty Mansell. And the Gold for the first time, really their best opportunity of the day. They have it 1st and 10 from the 14 as we begin the final period.
Yeah, found something with Fred Brown, got him going a little bit.
K.J. Smith in there at quarterback and a handoff to Fred Brown. And Brown dragging defenders down to the 15-yard line.
K.J. Smith in at quarterback. Obviously, it looks like they went with the third quarter with Beasley. Going to go to fourth quarter with K.J. Smith. They're going to have the wind to their back.
Brown now up to 47 yards rushing in the game. He's the top rusher in the game. K.J. Smith going to follow Fred Brown into the hole and dive down to the 12-yard line. Hoffman in on the tackle for the Blue.
Yeah, not a bad idea to follow Fred Brown. These guys had a good time, man. They were bouncing around yesterday, and that's another thing. These kids get to meet people they've never met. They're all in the same boat. They're all 2024s.
3rd down and 3. Smith dances around, and he's going to be trapped in a quarterback sack. That's the 8th for the Blue.
Cannot take that sack there.
Colin Kongu from Alpharetta, linebacker with the sack. So now it's going to be 4th down and about 10. Smith steps up, dropped again. Wow, they are just getting after it. Ryan Fletcher again. 2nd sack for him.
Alpharetta, defensive lineman. This just goes right by the offensive guard there. He's pumped, isn't he? Tell me those kids aren't having fun.
Well, that's Alpharetta and Roswell, so no love lost between those two schools.
No doubt.
So even though this is Georgia Elite Classic, it's still Roswell versus Alpharetta.
Think about that, but you're right.
So Jake Holmes at quarterback as the Blues sends their offensive unit back out there. Their defense just got a big stop on what had been the best scoring opportunity for the Gold today. Ball fumbled, and Holmes, I think, was able to hop back in there on top of it. Tried a little RPO, and ball got banged off the side of Kendarius Brown as he tried to pull it back and run it.
Yeah, I'm surprised you don't see more of that as well.
Yeah, Kendarius started to run with it, and Holmes wanted to keep it. So second down and long. Again, a little miscommunication on the spacing, and Kendarius Brown takes a big loss. They nearly collided. In fact, they did collide in the backfield right there. Tyrone Allen out of Winder Barrow was there to get the TFL. It's going to be third down.
D-line coach.
So Tyler Denny from inside his own 10. And kick's going to be fielded at the 42. So that's the importance of coming up there and making that
that's
catch.
Why we make that. Yep.
And I don't understand why he doesn't come up and dive for that catch, because or because it isn't like you have live. You don't have to worry about a fumble.
Just touch it.
The important thing is make sure you get on top of the ball. But it's hard. I mean, it's hard to teach that kind of stuff. I mean, they've been playing football all their life.
They've been trying to put so much in for 3 days now. 3 practices now.
But on those punts, you need to come up and try to catch them in the air. Save yourself some yards. They ended up spotting it at the 45, so instead of the 48 and it being the 42, they have it at the 45, half the distance from where the ball hit the ground and where it was actually touched. Running a sweep here. That actually counts as a pass. And Shirey gets driven back. Lost of 3 on the play.
Tucker with another play. He's had a good day as well. Had a conversation about you last night. I hope your ears weren't burning.
Well, let's go through the scoreboard, and then you can tell me all about it. It's brought to you by Ford, built tough. In the 7th grade game, the Gold beat the Blue 14-13. 8th grade game, it was the Blue over the Gold 14-7. So you can tell me about why my ears should have been burning.
I had dinner with some of the Milton staff last night, and they said, "Won't you be honest with me? Did you give us much of a chance?" And I said, "Well, I'll tell you what." I said, "Matt Stewart and I both wrote down a score on the paper before the game, and I said, I didn't give you much of a chance, and Matt Stewart said it was going to be a really good game with his score. So I gave you some credit." And they said, I thought you are your way. I really did. And 17 returning starters going down to 5A classification, or 16 returning starters. Milton they're going to be the media darlings in the offseason.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I haven't done a deep dive on what everybody else is bringing back, but they just won 7A, and now they're going to be playing 5A.
Yep.
You got to like their chances, although they're going to play in a tough region.
What they said.
KJ Smith, and that's one of the teams. They're going to be in the region with Roswell. They're going to be in a region with Gainesville.
Yep.
So you got 3 teams that are basically top 5 teams.
State championship contenders.
Contenders all playing in that same region. Yep. So just getting a home game in the playoffs is going to be a tough thing to do.
That was the first thing I said. Nobody wants to match up with y'all's region when that playoff bracket comes out. Because if you get a 3 team, whew.
And one of those teams is likely going to be the 3 team.
Sure.
But the GHSA has done they've tried hard to try to make this thing more geographically palatable.
Yep.
So therefore you had the contraction from 7 down to 6 classifications. What a catch over the shoulder at the 10-yard line by Travion Webb.
Wow. Great catch. That's the second one he's made today.
That's the second kind of Batman kind of catch he's made. Spider-Man kind of catch. Wow.
Man.
That is an awkward catch. That is a hard catch. You're leaning inside, and the ball goes to your outside shoulder.
That is the definition of ball skills.
BSN Sports Red Zone for the Gold team. They're trying to cut this deficit in half. Smith fires to the end zone, and hot in and out of the hands of his target. That was Travion Webb again. Webb out of Decatur, played for the Bulldogs, 6'1", 165 senior. He's had a couple of big catches here. 2 catches for 56 total yards in this game.
Can play corner as well.
Great tight coverage on that back line right there by Mattai Johnson. Teammate of Javarius George there with the North Paulding Wolfpack. 2nd down and goal. Time for Smith, fires in the middle and batted down. Nearly intercepted by Eric Jensen, the linebacker out of your alma mater, Pepperell.
There's no doubt. Had a good week this week and made top performer list, I believe, both days by the coaching staff.
So now it's going to be 3rd down.
He's going to hear that one from his teammates.
Hit him in the worst possible place.
Sure did.
Right in the hands. So 3rd down and goal to go for the Gold. You figure they got to score here to have any chance to win this game.
Yeah, they got to score here.
Shirey that goes in motion. He's out there on the flats. And a quarterback sack back at the 19-yard line. They got him again. Hoffman in amongst the quarterback sackers, and so was Fletcher.
Yeah, they were trying to dump this off to the running back in the flat. Got to turn loose right here. And when you don't, that's what happens. And tried to hit a quick pass out in the flat with a running back out in space. And
a little love for Vaden Payne, too. All 3 of those guys got a piece of him. Now it's going to be 4th down and goal way back at the 19-yard line. It was a jailbreak pass rush right there. And remember, no blitzing. That's all defensive linemen.
See if they get this ball to Durden here, number 2, on a one-on-one to bottom.
Smith to this side, going back for Webb, and now the flag comes out. Travion Webb turned around and stared down the official until he pulled it out of his pocket.
2 of them. He stared them both down. What else do you need here from me?
So we'll check the mark off, and they'll repeat 4th down.
Pass interference on the defense. Half the distance to the goal. 1st down.
So they do get a 1st down out of that. I thought it would be a repeat of 4th down because you couldn't pick up a 1st down. It was 4th and goal. So it is still 4th down. That's right. And they're going to call a timeout, the Gold will. So this will give me a chance to get on my soapbox.
Okay.
On defensive pass interference in high school football.
Yep.
I think the way they have the rules set, it actually benefits the defense to commit the penalty.
Yes.
Because it's not a spot foul. It's not an automatic 1st down. If you're beat on a play, the way the penalty is written right now, you're better off tackling your man in the open field than letting him catch the ball.
100%.
And to me, I think that's a rule that high school football needs to go back and address, much like the college and NFL rule. Like the NFL rule is the one I like the best because it really penalizes the DPI.
Oh, man.
If you commit DPI in the end zone, ball at the one.
Ball at the one.
If you commit it in the field, spot of the foul. And that cuts down on that. But right now, I mean, if you're a defender, I'm a defensive coach, I'm like, look, if you're beat on the play.
I'm teaching that.
Right. You're beat on the play, tackle the guy.
Yes.
Because it's only a 15-yard penalty, and we live to play another play.
Correct.
So
and
hopefully.
You don't give up field position.
Yeah. Hopefully high school football will eventually address that. I love high school football, but that thing has really stuck in my craw a long time on why they keep the penalty like that. So 4th and goal. Smith to the air, and jump ball incomplete. They went to Durden right there.
Yep.
And a big pass breakup by Mike Ty Johnson. So Johnson comes up with the big defensive play, and the ball goes over on downs. When, of course, in my world, it would have been 1st and goal at the 1.
1st and goal to 1. And look what happened. They committed a penalty and stopped them with one more play.
Yeah, they actually benefited by committing the penalty.
Yep. So you got 4 minutes and 40 seconds. And you got a 2-minute timeout. You got a 2-minute
2-minute warning.
2-minute warning.
Like the NFL.
Yep.
But now the Blues got the ball. Can they drain the clock here? Can they burn it up and get out of here with the win? What do they do? Do they get a Mayo bath here like Neil Brown yesterday?
No Mayo bath. No.
I think if I was Neil Brown, I might have puked.
I just don't understand that. I don't get that. No coach wants to have
Mayo dumped on their head. That's just not a thing.
I don't.
I would prefer to be in the Pop-Tarts bowl.
No doubt.
Where you get to eat that Pop-Tart.
Yep.
That big Pop-Tart. Now that was great.
The social impressions of Pop-Tarts today, there's no telling what it was. I mean, I got on social media, I was like, what is going on? People are arguing over blueberry and strawberry, and that's exactly what they wanted.
What do you like best? Since we're on the subject, and we do have a timeout.
Blueberry.
Blueberry's good.
Yeah, and hot.
Yes.
I like them out of the toaster.
Oh, yeah.
Out of the toaster. Yeah. Grandma made them out of the toaster.
Got to get a little toasty, on the edge. Don't burn it now.
Yeah, that's right.
Like I might be apt to do. A little toasty on the edge and really soft and warm in the middle.
No doubt.
When you break that thing open and bite it.
Don't do it to me. I'm hungry.
But cinnamon brown sugar.
I haven't had that.
Oh, my goodness.
I haven't had that.
It's like a dessert for breakfast. But blueberry, you can't go wrong with blueberry. I like cherry. Any of the tarty fruits, I like that. So 2nd down and 6 as we get back to football. 4:11 left in regulation here. And the Blue with a chance to put this game on ice. That's a big hit right in the middle on Iminoma's run. I think they said Barton on the carry. I thought it was Melvin Imioma. Whoever it was, they got shaken up by that big hit late in the run. So they continue to tend to the injured player at the 13-yard line. Give a little love to those offensive linemen. You see 65 Dylan Moorhead down there. 69 Jaden Malone, I think, from Cass as well.
Yeah, Jaden Malone. Kudos to him. We had a player that was unable to travel from South Georgia, and they gave a call, and he came over that afternoon, signed up and played. And a couple things I noticed, some schools are here today, and one thing you kind of get to notice with this, Matt, is visitation. So the shorter university, which is a smaller school here, they're sitting with a parent of a senior. That's kind of the recruiting process, and that's what we'd like to see. But young man, hope he's okay getting up.
That was Melvin Imioma, who was shaken up on that play. He's gotten a few snaps here today. 4 carries for 12 yards.
This might be an all-star game sack record in the history. What we got here? What's the stat line on that?
Let me see. I'm going to have to add it up because they don't do the math for you. So
man.
Hines has 4. Fletcher has 3. That makes 7. Tucker has a sack and a half. So now you're up to 9.5. Hoffman has 1. That's 10.5. And then you have 3 more with halves. So 12 sacks. 12 total quarterback sacks. This is like the Rams and the Falcons back in the 1970s. And you can guess who the one was giving up all the sacks. It wasn't the Rams.
Was it Barkowski on his back? It wasn't Vince Ferragamo?
Flag is going to be waved off after the near interception by Bryce Stack.
Yeah, trying to find George again on that deep ball. Those two. I believe by the way one there. You got to let him finish the route. Kind of cut off George.
So punting situation here for the Blue. Gold going to get it back with under 3.5 to play, and they've got to get 2 scores on the board.
3 timeouts and 2-minute warning, so if you pop something quick.
But we'll be announcing the MVP, offensive player of the game, and defensive player of the game. Going to be hard for anybody to top what Jamontez Hines has
I believe we're going to announce that here pretty soon.
able to do today. 4 sacks for Jamontez Hines. 7 total tackles, 2 TFL as well. And just really wreaked havoc on that offensive line. Here's a look at your player of the game, and that was Jamontez Hines. I mean, he was blocked, he was held, and he still got the strip sack, even though he was held on the play. And that's your play of the game. As the Blue now just 3 minutes and 23 seconds away from winning this one. KJ Smith still out there at quarterback for the Blue. Let's see if he can rally these guys like he did so often for Roswell. Add another sack to Jamontez Hines' total. 5 quarterback sacks today.
I may have to police escort him out of Floyd County. He may not want to leave. This is his stomping grounds now.
Stomping ground. And they're even holding him again.
Look at him. What a day.
They can't hold him and stop him.
Man, he has been fantastic. I tell you what, we had Michael Williams up here, but he is definitely MVP and Gatorade player of the game.
Defensive. What a performance by Jamontez Hines. 5 quarterback sacks, 2 TFL, 8 total tackles. Being chased by Hoffman. Hoffman gets a blindside block on him. Let's see, did they drop a flag? No flag dropped.
Remember about 4 or 5 years ago, Coach Dave Hunter was still involved with this, and he told the referee before the game, he goes, hey, it's an all-star game. Nobody paid to see you. And guess what? There wasn't a bunch of flags called that day either.
He probably said that before every one of his Brookwood games, too. It's a Brookwood Broncos game. Nobody paid to see you.
Nobody paid to see you. That was an all-timer.
3rd down and 3. That's right. I mean, unless it's just blatant and obvious.
Yes.
Smith gets it out of there and short hops his receiver, trying to get the ball to Pat McCall. KJ ends up picking himself up off the deck. KJ, as we mentioned earlier, committed to Nebraska Kearney. He had over 1,000 yards rushing, close to 1,100 yards rushing in his career to go along with the over 5,500 yards passing. And he set the Roswell single game touchdown record. He had 7 touchdown passes in a game this season. So 4th and 13, last gasp coming up here for the Gold. Beasley in there at quarterback, going to try to run for the first down, and Beasley slides down at the 32 and picks up the first down. So Cam Beasley keeps things going here for the Gold.
A little juice to him as well, and comes back in. Not easy to come back in off the sideline and just go right into running for your life.
No, not in this weather either.
No.
Not when it's 40 degrees and creeping down into the upper 30s. So 1st and 10 after the run by Beasley. Heavy rush coming off the edge and another quarterback sack. Are you kidding me? Kongu gets his second quarterback sack.
Yeah, these two defensive lines, we want to show this tape to some schools. Yeah, there's going to be some defensive linemen cutting this tape up on Monday.
And these guys have feasted today. I think we've officially passed into that threshold of something I've never seen before. I've never seen this many. I've never seen this many quarterback sacks in a game.
One game.
2nd down and 11. Beasley clean pocket this time, fires to the outside, and that's to McCall. And things are getting a little chippy out there. Now the flags come out. So you say it's just an all-star game and they don't care, right?
Yeah, we got to stop that. We can't have that late. We don't want to end a week like this.
But especially there at that line of scrimmage, you have them beating on your head.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. Some frustrations, and just don't want to end a senior game like this.
Dead ball foul. Personal foul. Here. Dead ball foul. Personal foul. Here. Those two offset.
I'm not sure how that works either. I don't know the answer to that. Maybe one's 20 and one's 10 because somebody initiated it.
Yeah.
Somebody initiated it at some point. So I don't really know how to get into all that, but.
Well, the only way to determine that would probably you'd have to bring replay into it to figure out who initiated the action.
Yes.
And then again, who initiated the action on that particular play, because what just happened's been that's been brewing the entire game.
No doubt.
So sometimes it's better just to say, you know what, offsetting penalties, you guys cool it, we're going to keep playing. So the officials I didn't see exactly what happened. I don't think any punches were thrown, because once you get into that, then you're.
Yep. Yeah. The way the coaching staff and the other team reacted on that sideline, something happened pretty nasty, I would imagine.
Well, someone ended with their helmet off.
Yep.
So someone got their helmet yanked off.
Yep.
We'll see if anybody has to leave the field. So it looks like no ejections.
Good.
Ball's going to be placed down at the 31. And we're down to 57 seconds left in the game. Beasley in there at quarterback. Rush is coming at him. Runs away with it. Gets away, escapes, and throws on the run to the end zone. And incomplete. Inside the 5-yard line as Tyler Bell was trying to hang on to the sideline with his toes and could not come up with the catch.
Still a good play by Beasley just to be able to get the ball and get out of pocket.
So now it's going to be 3rd down and 13.
I'm going to let you and Mr. Craig Sager Jr. handle this junior game. We'll go down on the set.
What are you going to do? Get something to eat?
No, well, I might. But I got to get down on the set here.
Okay.
I'm going to do one more play.
One more play.
And then we'll get down with IJ on our second set, and I'll be back up here.
For the freshman and sophomore game, that's going to be at 7 o'clock.
Yep. We'll get my mind right. Enjoy watching these juniors play because both of these junior teams are very talented.
3rd and 13. Beasley going for the end zone and dropped inside the 5. Nearly intercepted back there. And now it's going to be 4th down. Trying to get an ID on that one for you. That was DJ Tisdale, the young man from Decula that you were telling me about earlier.
Really liked him yesterday.
So now it's going to be 4th down. Maybe the final meaningful play of this game for the goal. So they have to pick up at least 13 to keep this going. So Rusty's going to vacate. Stick around. You don't want to miss what Rusty and IJ have to say between the games. I'm sure it's going to be golden. So you'll stick around for that. We're going to wrap this one up here on 4th and 13. Beasley, heavy rush, and another quarterback sack. What an appropriate way for this game to end. Zacharian Tucker gets another sack. Actually, that was Ryan Fletcher. It's 99. I thought it was 91. No, it was 91. It was. I was right the first time. It was Zacharian Tucker who tripped him up and gets the quarterback sack. That'll give him his second of the game. So you've got 4. Craig Sager Jr. stepped in here with me. That's 4 quarterback sacks for Jamontez Hines. Fletcher with 2. Tucker got 2.5. Actually, Fletcher ended up with 3. That's going to be it. So stick around. You're coming up. You're going to be doing the color here on the junior came in just a moment as the clock finally hits zeros. Senior game decided. 14-0. The blue defeat the gold. Got more coming up from Rome in just a moment.
ADHD diagnoses in the United States for school kids has increased by 43% in less than 10 years.
This was the first time a teacher ever mentioned ADHD. I was super offended.
A big part of me thought it was a bogus diagnosis.
The flip side of distractibility is curiosity. What's that? What's that? What's that? If you didn't care, you wouldn't get distracted.
I'm a risk taker. I'm creative.
Zara's a brilliant writer.
He has a lot of skills, like to ask questions, to be argumentative, to push boundaries.
Around ADHD, there's tremendous ignorance. Most people are not aware of the positives that go with it.
Can't sit still, disorganized, can't focus, lazy, stupid.
You can't make it. You never listen. You don't clean your room. It's a super skill set.
It was 4 days, and he was going to kill me, it's believed, on the day that I was rescued.
At Investigate TV Plus, every day we go in depth.
How do you process that?
With investigations that expose the truth.
Is this a nationwide issue that we're dealing with here?
With real people.
This is not you.
It's not me.
Facing real problems.
We thought, oh, well, they're going to let her go.
Revealing real-life solutions that keep your family safe.
It will save lives, no doubt about it.
Investigate TV Plus. Check local listings at investigatetv.com.
We celebrate the athletes, the buzzer beaters, the record breakers, the wins. Now, it's time to celebrate the people behind it all, the advice givers, the community shapers, the game changers, the life changers. It's time to celebrate our coaches. Join all of us at BSN Sports and show your coach some love by sharing their story with #ThankYouCoach.
All right, IJ Rosenberg, the GeorgiaConstructions.com tailgate show here on the Peachtree Sports Network. Here, sitting here with freshman coach Israel Troop. Not the first time you've coached in this game.
Not the first time, but I'm glad to be back.
Yeah, you're the freshman coach. Talk a little bit about, sort of coaching